Andy Shepard is inside the smart cage.
The following lightweight fight is a special showcase bout. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He is an MMA specialist and stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. He weighed in officially at 152.6 pounds and holds a record of 1 win and no losses. Fighting out of San Francisco, Solano, Argentina, Emmanuel Palacio. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He is a striking specialist and stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. He weighed in officially at 155.4 pounds, and tonight he makes his professional MMA debut. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, Biaggio Ali Walsh. Referee in charge, Kerry Hatley.
Kerry Hatley equipped with the ref cam. He could take us inside the smart cage for a closer look. Biaggio Ali Walsh in the black trunks, Emmanuel Palacio in the white. 3 5-minute rounds at 155 pounds. Pro debut for Biaggio Ali Walsh. Second pro fight in the career of Emmanuel Palacio.
All right, gentlemen, here we go. This is what you work for. You ready? Ready? Let's go to work.
Touch of the gloves between these two competitors. Ali Walsh claims the center of the smart cage.
I like this steady start. Oh, straight in for a takedown. Wow, what power.
Up and down, Biaggio Ali Walsh goes. Emmanuel Palacio doesn't mind the groundwork, but usually prefers to be on top.
And a debut versus somebody with a little more experience. Walsh, in the future, when he gets a takedown this close to his fence, will turn his opponent, try to get their head right against that fence, almost use it as a backstop, almost like a tag team partner if you get used to using it well. Palacio, not very active right now. I expected a little bit more movement from him. When I watched Palacio's other fights, he's got a pretty active guard. There's the scramble.
Scrambles and sneaks out the back door, but right back into a clinch goes Biaggio Ali Walsh.
Battle for wrist control at close range here. Biaggio needs to get that head position.
Palacio's going to need a little urgency here. He's going to need a little movement. Possibly get an underhook with his right arm, change his position, put Walsh up against the fence.
We saw on the tail of the tape that these two men weighed in about 3 pounds apart. Biaggio Ali Walsh is clearly the larger fighter in this matchup. Using that strength and size, and once again bullying Emmanuel Palacio to the mat.
Beautiful inside reap and circles his opponent off the fence as well to take that opportunity to escape away. But Palacio's going to be busy off his back here. He was working for a strong overhook previously. We've got to be careful of him trying to sneak up submissions here as Biaggio starts to open up and strike.
Tonight in this fight and from this position, Biaggio Ali Walsh can utilize a weapon that his grandfather was never able to deploy in his illustrious career. Elbows are allowed in our Champs versus Champs card. That's a departure from our normal PFL rule set. We're back to the unified rules here. Biaggio Ali Walsh talked about potentially using elbows.
Walsh has surprised me. The body lock, the takedowns, the control up against the fence, it surprised me. However, I'm equally as surprised at his lack of activity from the ground. Look, he's got to get that head off of his opponent's chest. Whether he wants to clear up the sit-up, we call this posturing, so he can get some power on those punches, or if he wants to pass, he's going to need to do one of the two. The referee is not going to let him stay in this position all night.
2 minutes left in round number 1. Emmanuel Palacio hanging on the head, potentially looking to earn that stand-up from Kerry Hatley, who so far has yet to intervene in this groundwork.
Also worth noting, this is the first time that Biaggio's done 5-minute rounds as well, transitioning from his amateur career in threes. There's a nice elbow on the break.
Palacio really has two options here, guys. He can either start to look for a submission, or he can start to cause a scramble and look for an escape. And I'm bringing that to you because there is a third option. It just doesn't gain favor with judges, which is to stay here and defend yourself. Self-defense is a very nice term. If you want to win in this contest, if you want to win the smart cage, you're going to need a little self-offense, and that is what Palacio isn't doing so far.
And he allowed Biaggio Ali Walsh to advance his position to this crossbody side control. And heavy shoulder pressure. Dan, what's the strategy with Palacio grabbing and locking down on this head?
I don't think he was expecting this game plan from Biaggio. I don't think he was prepared to be fighting off his back at this early on in the fight. Anybody that's watched Biaggio's amateur career, you can see the fast, powerful hands that he's been utilizing to dispatch his opponents. This is a very, very different version that we're seeing of him. Maybe he just needed to get this first round out of the way, get a couple of takedowns, maybe put that doubt in Palacio's mind that there is a grappling game on the table as well, and then that might open up his strikes in the second.
Sign up at DAZN.com. Purchase the pay-per-view of our main card, Champs versus Champs. The super belt will be contested in our final 4 bouts of the evening.
All right, here we go again. And Palacio again, not showing an urgency.
Flying knee attempted there from Biaggio Ali Walsh. Left hook landed from Palacio, who now starts to get to work with the hands. Another one lands.
Stop. Oh.
That one was after the bell. Guys, I have to ask this question. Did Dennis Davis and the camp at Extreme Couture say, you know what, Biaggio, in your pro debut, we think you're a lot better than this guy. We want to see you bang some cage time. We want to see you take this guy down. Let's prove to people that you're a complete mixed martial artist. Is that what we saw in round 1? Because now the hands are going in round 2.
Yeah, he's letting him go now, isn't he? And everything starts with that jab. That's that traditional, everything starts with the jab. There's the 1-2. Hey, if you can hit him once, you can hit him twice.
Palacio did land another hook there, and that is something about Biaggio Ali Walsh's style that I love, but I think that his coaches might not like so much, is he is willing to eat punches in order to give them back.
Lovely calf kick, and nice. 2 punches on the break there.
Nothing we've seen from Walsh tonight has been one shot at a time. It is punches and bunches.
That leg is compromised. He's having a hard time kind of resetting the balance. They might have deadened his foot, that big calf kick.
Fast hands.
But Palacio offers a jab. At the end of every one of Biaggio Ali Walsh's combinations, he's eating a punch from Palacio. Now, he's still landing more than his opponent, but he is taking some damage back as he tests that high kick.
Palacio's not afraid to stay in that range. I'm being a little critical of the young man, but he's got a big career ahead of him. I'd like to see him a little more busy, throwing a little more at the wall. He elected to be in this position. If you're electing to be in guard, then I must believe as a viewer that you have a technique or submission you'd like to attempt from here. But that's not what Palacio did. He pulled guard, he grabbed the head, and he's staying still.
Again, both of these fighters very, very early in their careers. Palacio came in 1-0 as a pro. Biaggio Ali Walsh is making his pro debut. So you're going to learn some lessons in fights like this. Pay-per-view main card later tonight, available on ESPN Plus, ESPN.com/PFL.
This is better work now from Biaggio. Now he's pummeled his hands on the inside, taking them off the mat. This will open up opportunities for short elbows. The hand on the mat, the arm on the mat makes me nervous because there's overhooks there that can be threatened. I would like to see more activity from Palacio off the floor, though.
Dan, I've never been coached up on how to referee a fight, but if a fighter elects, as Chael said, to put himself in this position, then he kind of hangs on for the stand-up. As a referee, are you saying, even subconsciously, I'm not standing you up, you put yourself here?
I don't know. I mean, I think if the action slows down, the smart thing to do for the referee would be to stand them back up, and I think there's the first warning there. The reality is Palacio is feeling the power in the punches and elbows of Biaggio. So anytime he's in this position, he's going to hold on to it and just close that space down.
Stand-up happens. Just over 2 minutes left in round number 2. Right back to the heavy punches they go. Nice uppercut there from Palacio, but then he gets himself backed up and eats a combination from Biaggio Ali Walsh.
A flying knee, wow. Of all the things, Okay, we saw a body lock, then we saw head kicks, now we've seen a flying knee from Walsh. Really looks very good. His composure is on point. Guys, by the way, there's intangibles such as pace. How hard can you push? Walsh really doing a good job of showing his level of fitness for this fight.
Got to be careful of that guillotine. Palacio's got one arm in, but it does seem to be under the neck if he can reach his hands together. Biaggio looking to hand fight here.
Palacio doesn't have control of Ali Walsh's hips, so he's going to have to abandon that. And now into the half guard for Biaggio Ali Walsh. We'll see if he can advance further from here and do some damage from the top position. So far has had some trouble tonight doing so. Under 1 minute in round number 2. Sean O'Connell, Chael's son, and Dan Hardy cage side. Randy Couture also in the building, as is Josh the Punk Thompson, Amanda Guerra. Big John McCarthy standing by remotely.
There were some good body shots from Biaggio there. Palacio's being active, but he doesn't even have his half guard closed here. Biaggio is sitting on that leg, making it very difficult for him to move his hips at all.
Dan, I do not believe that Palacio is fatigued. I don't think he's reached exhaustion. However, he's fighting as though he is. He's fighting as though he's worried about using too much energy. I feel like he's got more left and not enough volume.
Final 10 seconds of round number 2. Biaggio Ali Walsh will finish this second frame on top of Emmanuel Palacio.
Let's go to work.
Quick hug to start round number 3. Display of sportsmanship here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
heavy leg kick.
Display of sportsmanship. I mean, I've seen the round 3 hug, but it's when we're like having a war or we're split one apiece. Palacio has lost 10 minutes of a 10-minute fight.
Wow. Beautiful timing.
The explosiveness on those level changes from Biaggio Ali Walsh shows you something of his background. He was an elite college football player. It's just a tackle. It's just a form tackle, Chael.
And what position, by the way?
He was a defensive back,
Really?
good running back as well in high school football.
I mean, I can see the power. I can see that explosiveness. I would have guessed receiver. Special teams, return the ball. For example, I do see a special athlete here.
Biaggio Ali Walsh inside control. His parents cage side, watching nervously as their son makes his long-awaited professional mixed martial arts debut. Palacio hanging on the head, locking himself down.
Von Flue choke. Potential Von Flue choke here if Biaggio gets his hands together and applies that shoulder pressure.
He thought about it for a moment. It's one of those chokes, Dan, that if you don't practice it a lot, it's kind of hard to get the right angle and pressure.
Very true. But as soon as a fighter gets their arm stuck, as you can see, Palacio's left hand is stuck with the glove. Biaggio should be able to pressure into his face with his shoulder here. Beautiful control, though.
Walsh is tight. You'll notice where his knee is in relation to his opponent's body. That's so that he can hold the position. That's so that Palacio can't regain guard. Creates a little space. First thing Palacio does, bring that knee in, get back to full guard.
Our main card tonight, available only on pay-per-view. DAZN.com, if you're part of our worldwide audience, to purchase that pay-per-view. If you're in the United States, ESPN Plus, ESPN.com/PFL. Go purchase the pay-per-view so you can see a main event between Renan Ferreira and Ryan Bader. Winner of that fight will welcome Francis Ngannou to the Smart Cage when he returns from boxing to the sport of mixed martial arts. So the stakes in our main event ratcheted up this week when Francis made that announcement.
Feel like we're going to get either a warning or a stand-up straight away in a moment. There are punches landing, but they're just not consequential enough, I feel, to maintain this position.
Let's go.
Here's the stand-up. No doubt we're going to see Biaggio open up with his hands again. And he started to step in with some hard elbows as well. He was doing that in the second round. There's the calf kick. Into a body lock, takedown. Scrambles to top position. Palacio back in with Biaggio in his closed guard.
When you have a fight for 3 rounds and you're stood up twice for inactivity, that's not great. That's not a wonderful sign where you're going to be excited to see Ray Sefo or Dan Hardy in the back and say, hey guys, how did I do? But who is to blame? And I got to put a lot of the blame on Palacio. He's asked for this position a couple of times. He's worked hard to get to this position. He's shown skill to get here, but then he hasn't done anything with it. And that's been a bit of a surprise for me.
I wonder if there are some pro debut nerves going on as well for Biaggio.
Understandable that both of these fighters on a stage like this, good elbow there from the top, would feel some nerves. What you don't want is you don't want a fighter feeling like, hey, if I can just hear that final bell, if I just don't get finished, it's a moral victory of sorts. That's not how we do things here in the Professional Fighters League.
Posturing off, potentially looking for an arm. Biaggio needs to square those hips up. Palacio could potentially isolate that left arm of Biaggio right here.
Dan, I'd be happy if Palacio just attempted to isolate that arm. If he just tries to throw that leg over. Right now, it's 5 inches. Just try to throw it over. Please, here we go. I'll count that as an effort.
I even like the strikes from the bottom. Since the unified rules were changed, people have been winning fights off their back with strikes here.
It won't happen for Emmanuel Palacio tonight. Biaggio Ali Walsh finishes round 3 on top.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges score this bout 30-27 for your winner via unanimous decision, Biaggio Ali Walsh.
Mom and Dad happy.